Perfect. So right. So this is environment variables, pop-up that actually have come up. We are interested in setting the environment variables. So you see the context right now have switched from this window to this window. And then again, from this window, the context has basically switched to the third window. All right. So in this case, for instance, if there is any such, thing that you are supposed to click. See, okay, here there is new, and here also there is new and new. Perfect example. But there are different news already available here. When you are trying to use a desktop recorder, the desktop recorder basically cannot know new that you are asking me to record belongs to this container, or the new belongs to this container, or so on. All right, because we are not doing a logical separation of the contexts. All right. So, but if you are going to use a desktop recorder, then that is when a separate container is going to get created for each new context, and the bot can really understand and perform the automation in a better way. Right. And then in the afternoon session today, we are going to learn about something called as selectors. Selector is a kind of unique attribute using which we will perform automation. Okay, so what UiPath Studio is essentially trying to do, it is giving us this cursor where you are trying to select in this text box, in this text box, in this checkbox you select, or at this button you click. These are the things what we are asking UiPath Studio to do for us, right? So, but how is UiPath Studio able to uniquely identify this text field, that checkbox, and this button? So it is able to identify by uniquely locating that text box with the help of an identifier called select. So these selectors really play a very, very important role in our automation, I should say, journey. And because you will understand that in the afternoon, I'm not going into the details of it. So there are types of selectors, basically three types. One is called full selector, partial selector, and customizable selector. So this generates a selector which actually has all properties in it, because it doesn't know the context. I will basically give a starting. How do I uniquely identify it? I'll identify it like this. It is a notepad where the notepad is having a title bar which is having a name in it, which is having a sub what do you call? It is having another child attribute, and the child attribute probably is the menu item name, and menu item location, and then the third sub item, like that. Select. I'll just show you an example of selector as well, which is coming in the next slides as itself. And then it'll keep the information of all of the things to uniquely identify the context. But even then, because these are having all of the information and not editable. This is completely editable, but this is not. So even then, sometimes the basic recorder, because it does not remember the context, does not separate the containers, it might not give us the best results. Great. So yeah, it's listed here. Does not use containers, and this uses containers. Great. So automatic recording actions are those which are like click and type into select item and check. Okay, these are the automatic actions that are basically performed. Then continue. There are four activities that are automatically generated using recording, and those are click, right? So click, type into, select item, and check. So what is click? That means you have this, a screen when you want to perform the clicks. Then this is the click that I have done earlier also, same example. And when I perform that click, right, this is automatically recorded for us by the recorder. You need not do it manually. So clicks are being done for us. Type into, that means you select the checkbox, or sorry, select the text field, and then the typing is done for us by the recorder automatically. And then you want to select one of the list of items that are there either in the drop down or in the combo box. Okay, combo box, the ticks. All right, that is also automatically done for us. And a selection of a choice from the radio buttons as well. That means you are going to do a check one of them. All of these are automatically done for us, so no need to worry. Great. Let's quickly run through all of these individually and then go back with the hands-on. This is the probably 7 last slides that are there for the day, and then we will directly jump onto the hands-on. So the first one is start app. It is going to give us the two options of allowing us to start the application or close the application. All right. You know, start the application means what? It is going to look out for only .exe files. All right. It's like that as of now. And it's basically because Windows environment, right? Sorry. In this Windows environment, it is going to only do the executables of .exe or .msi. MSI also will work here. Okay, and this is going to yeah, and this allows you to choose the application. Where is it available? All right. Either you are supposed to give the path where notepad.exe is available, or just keep the notepad application open and click on that, and it will automatically pick up the location. And close app, that means you finished your entire automation and you want to close the notepad as well, then you can basically come and choose this. So as we already discussed, if you click on record, then what will happen? All of the set of actions that you are going to perform by doing a click operations are recorded. Okay, this screen is not needed for us, and all the entire pop-ups whichever are supposed to come, the pop-ups that will come are these, checking or type into or a click or select item. These four things automatically recorder is going to detect that it is of that type, and it is going to suggest. Any other things that like start application, any other clicks which are not left clicks, right click or double click and so on, are going to be performed by manually intervening into the recorder. Great. And then you see for web recorder, you see that there's a small change, and the change is we will have open browser, close tab, and close browser. Okay, open browser opens up, or you are going to close a particular tab. Open tab is not there, and close the entire browser. Both, all these three things are basically available. Great. Nice. So click. Inside click itself, you are going to have these three actions called click, select item, and check. All right, that means either I am going to click or I am going to do a select item, which is in the combo boxes, or I'm going to select the list of items from the drop down. All right, that is possible. Or check. It is going to be done for radio buttons. Great. And type. So if you want to type, you can basically do the typing there itself on the automation. That means we want to do the notepad automation, right? So during the recording itself, this type is going to be suggested for us. But due to some reason, we wanted to stop the recording because there are a lot more activities that are to be performed. And the recorder cannot do them for us. So then you stop the recording and you are doing the manual entry of the recording. So you want to type something in some field, then you can use this. And send hotkey is going to be an activity which allows you to give the shortcuts. Control C, Control V, Control Shift K, or Control Z, Control Y. All right, all of those things can be or Control Alt Delete. All right, all of these things can be done here. Copy. If you want to copy text, all right. How do you copy the text? You there the cursor is going to come, and you are going to select the text by identifying the region from where you want to copy the text. All right, and it is going to copy the text. Screen scraping. All right, this is a very interesting thing. One of the fundamental ingredient for our process automation. That is, you have something on the screen and there is no valid selector using which I can identify this. Then screen scraping allows you to identify an anchor and then the text that you want to scrape. Okay, and you can easily get the text. Great. Copy text and say the same thing as there in both basic recorder and web recorder basically. So basic and desktop have same options, except that the selectors are partial in desktop and containers are there in desktop. All right. Or else both options are same. That's the reason why we're not talking about desktop recorder anywhere. All right, now here we are taking the example of desktop recorder and see element. So if it is mouse, then click is obviously there is a list different. click relative. That means there is some anchor point. All right, anchor point matlab, see for instance, in this example, I want to get the text that actually is available here, or I want to perform the click operation that is here. But how do I locate this region? So to locate this region, I have something called click relative. What I do is I'm going to do a selection like this. All right, I'm going to do a selection, a click and drag, mouse click and drag, and then a selection is going to happen. So whenever the robot is going to see the screen, it figures out that there is click relative text there. So I'm going to just perform a click beside that. So that is click relative. Right click, double click and hover. All right, that means you want to hover. Sometimes what will happen is you should not click on the menu options. All right, you should not click on the menu options. It's just like if you hover the mouse on top of the option, the menu bar actually opens up. If you click, it will not come. You hover, it will come. Is when the hovering of mouse is going to really help us. And then find is going to be again another good activity which allows us to find a specific element. All right, find element allows you to uniquely detect the element that is there on the screen. The screen could be anything which is like calculator. The screen could be web application. The screen could be anything as such. Then sometimes it so happens that there is a pop-up coming in, and then for the next 2 seconds it will be there, and then it basically goes away. So wait until the element vanishes. That means until then the automation bot is going to just stay quiet. And once that pop-up is gone, then I'm going to continue doing my automation. Or else if this timing is missing out, then the robot continues to do all of its steps, even though I was not having the options available. And it'll throw us an exception, cannot find UI element as such. And find relative element, just like what we have seen in the mouse relative click relative. Here find relative is going to identify a relative element, and then it returns the element. Earlier it only performs a click, now it returns the element. That means it's a text, then it returns the text. It's an image, it returns the image, and so on. Great. And then in the text, menu, what we have mouse, scrape, copy text, set text, and select and copy. All right. So we're going to see all of them in detail. So don't worry. And then in image, we are going to have for image, you are going to do a click left, click right, click and hover, find image, and wait image vanish. All right. So wait image for to vanish. Sometimes it's just a pop-up that is coming, which not necessarily needs to be an image. And sometimes it's a logo that basically appears, and that logo needs to be disappeared. So if it is logo, then use a wait image vanish. If it is an element, then wait element disappear, okay, based on the situation. Great. So yeah, we wanted to do this now. Let me just switch my screens, and I have kept things already ready here just in case if there is any bug, then we are not wasting time. So let's start by creating a sequence, and this sequence is going to use is going to demonstrate a basic recorder demo. Great. So we are going to start off, and how do you start off? We are going to start off like this. We will not, the same thing also can be done without using a recorder, right? This is something you can probably do once you have small understanding or basic understanding on what are the different activities that are there in the entire UiPath Studio. Once you know all of them, then it's very easy for us to remember which activities to be picked up for giving the value. So all what we need to do is, first thing is we need to open application, right? So you see there is an activity already available for us called open application. So like that, I mean, earlier we said wait element, wait element, vanish. Great. So like this, for all of those things, whichever you have seen on the options, on the menu items, are individual activities for us here. Great. So let's start the basic recording. Right. So the basic recorder started now. So let's keep our notepad open. Okay. And then start the recording. So I started the recording. and I will say this is the place where I would like to type. Okay, and what I need to type? I need to type hello everyone, welcome to day 3 FDP. All right, so this is typed for us. Now, once this is typed, what do we want to do? We want to change the font and the formatter. See, when you click on that during the recording, this is some suggestion that might come up. Okay, so what this suggestion means is uh, generally the clicks that you are going to perform here are not that easy to locate. Right. Maybe, for instance, there are menu items which are again repetitive, I mean redundant. Sometimes here also there is called view, and there also there is called view. All right, here view image, in image there is something called view, and there is text menu, and then there is something called view. Some application which is having options like this. So in that case, for me to uniquely identify, I'm talking about the menu option of view that is there under the image. All right, then you want to select image as the anchor. Okay, image as the anchor point, and with this anchor I am trying to refer to the view option in the menu listing here. Similarly, if there is text is the menu item, and in the menu item you have sub menu item called view. So the anchor will be menu item called text, and then here it is the view. Here we don't have any anchor, so don't worry. You will be learning this again when the anchors are going to be taught. So here, just click on do not show me this again and click on no. Great. And then what do we want to do? We want to click on font. Lovely. And in the font, what is the font that you want to select? If you can see, I'm trying to basically scroll the mouse. Okay, I'm trying to scroll the mouse, but it is stuck because the font that I want to actually look out for is not visible for me here. Or I want maybe Calibri. Okay, so that Calibri is not listed. It is there, but I'm not able to view that. So in order to pause the recording, all right, in order to pause the recording, you can click on F2. The function F2 button is there, right? It will give you 3-second window for you to keep the options in a way in which you can easily select, so that the recording also it can find that element in the same way. All right. So what you are going to do is you are supposed to observe here at the college logo, and you see there is a timer coming up right now, starting from 3, 2, 1, and so on. See, I am trying to press F2, and see, yeah. Can you see it here? 3, 2, and 1. Till then, the recorder is paused, and you can do your normal, operations on the machine. So, what am I interested right now? I am interested in choosing. All right, so I couldn't reach there. Again, I couldn't reach there. All right, a little above. Great, I found Calibri. So now I'll click here. The font is selected as Calibri. All right, and now I want to do probably a light italic, and the font size is maybe 48. And click on OK. And you see the font basically have changed. Right. So after this, what I want to do, I want to probably come here and maybe click on save. And you see there's a pop-up coming in. And I should give the name of the file. The name of the file is hello. And ensure that you click on this. There are two options here, which I forgot to tell you earlier. There are two options, that is empty field and the type password. If you select type password, then the text that you are going to type will not be visible. All right. And if it is not a password, then the text is going to be visible. If you select this empty field, then what will happen? Because already you have this .txt, the name of the file will be saved as star.txt hello. Okay, if it is not empty. Now, if you select this empty field, then what will happen? That star.txt is erased and hello only will be printed. All right. I'm going to click on save now. So it is saved somewhere on my desktop, and close this. All right. And once you are done, see, this is all the steps that you have done. Notepad is opened up initially. If you remember, I did not, use open application. I am under the assumption that Notepad is already open. Then I started doing the automation. Correct. So, and then what did I do? We changed the font, family. We changed the font style. We changed the font, size. Clicked on OK and given a name of the file to be saved, and clicked on OK and closed the notepad. So this is all the entire recording that we have done. And once you are done, see the cursor is still there in the recording stage itself. You need to come out of it. So to ensure we come out of this, click escape. Once you click escape, you see the recorder screen is again back, and just click on save and exit. You see the series of steps that we have done are all listed for us. Okay, the series of steps that we have done are all listed for us. So what I'll do is I will, Notepad is not that intelligent, so it'll still retain the same, it'll remember the same value. So what I'll do is just to ensure that we see the change in the content, I'm changing the font style. Great. Now let's start the bot. So as I told you, the bot is expecting the notepad to be open. Okay, if the notepad is not open, then see what will happen. What will happen? Anybody can guess? So the bot started. What will happen if the notepad is not there?
Throw an error.
It's an exception.
Obviously, it will give us an exception saying cannot find the UI element. What is the UI element? That is the text area. Okay, here there is a text area, and that text area is not visible for the robot. How long do you think the robot is going to try for the text area to be visible? This is something you are going to learn when if there is a session on robotic enterprise, then a framework. See, it cannot find the UI element corresponding to the selector. So you see, for everything, there will be a default timeout. All right. You see, there will be a default timeout which is not listed in here. But for every activity for bot to basically perform any activity, it is going to wait for a set amount of 30 seconds, which is a default, standard default, which you can go and customize and configure in the config files. Already open config files, and the default timeout is around 30 seconds. No, I don't want 30 seconds to wait. 20 seconds. You can do that. And then within 20 seconds, it will wait, and then kind of stop and throw as an exception. Right. So let us stop the bot. And now let's keep the notepad and run it. Now, because the notepad is there in the screen, the robot should be able to pick it up. All right, it is able to pick it up. So see, it is trying to type in the font that we have selected. Okay, this is the problem I wanted to showcase to you. And you see that it is unable to right now figure out the click that we have performed here. All right, even though the screens are visible, it is unable to perform. The reason why is because I'll just show you. So how did we record this? The way we recorded this is when we wanted to select this Calibri during the recording process, it would have seen some other screen. Okay, now it is seeing another screen. What is the screen I'm talking about? I'm talking about, where is my notepad? So the screen that earlier was visible was probably at Vardhana. It was like this. Okay, now I changed the screen layout to something else which is like this. How did I change? Why did I change it? Because I just wanted to show you that this is a issue that might come up. All right, so how do you solve it? How do you solve it? We are going to solve it by ensuring that the recorder knows the context. Recorder knows the container where it is supposed to perform these operations. All right. So this is where the just basic recorder sometimes will fail. So let us try to quickly fix it. So what is it saying? It is saying cannot find the UI element. And here, why is it not able to find the UI element? Because it wants to find light italic. All right. And for it to find light italic, it will only be able to find light italic provided the selection happened here as Calibri. That is my Calibri. Yeah. If the Calibri was selected there, then it would have figured out where is my light italic. Okay, because it didn't perform the selection itself there, on the previous section, on the previous activity, it is not able to figure it out. So how can you solve it? So it's very easy. How do you solve it is, you need to open, okay, let me just stop the process of debugging. All right. And then just let it know, let the selector know you are trying to locate this value here. Okay, now it is able to figure it out. All right, now you see, I'm going to not do anything. I just stop it. I just close it. I don't want to save it. And then just run it now. Okay, it has picked up the font. Again, it is lost. It didn't pick it up again. What you can also try to do and help is to debug. This is only for debugging. See, if I'm going to select Calibri, it will continue. Because it was not able to find where Calibri is, it got stuck. And once I selected Calibri, it kind of have continued. So that was the timeout which I wanted to tell you, that 30 seconds buffer is what the robot is going to wait, and it will somehow try to identify if that item is visible for me. If it is visible, then it basically continues. So now why it is stopping is because I didn't delete that hello.txt file. Where is that hello.txt? Which was already existing. Yeah, it is here. If I'm going to delete it, then the save is going to basically go ahead. Great. So that is where we are lost. The reason why it didn't work out is because it was not able to locate the option that was earlier available. So let's try to fix that problem. Okay, let's try to fix that problem. And how do you do that is, I'll just show you. All right. Perfect. So this is where it is unable to select that Calibri, and Calibri is kind of an option that is there somewhere on the top. So what you can do is, instead of you allowing it to perform the clicks, because what we did, we have paused the screen. Wantedly we have done it, right? We have paused the screen and we went to Calibri and are asking the robot to search for Calibri where Calibri is not visible for it. All right. So what you can do instead, you can basically, delete this, right? And this is where we are getting the problem, and use a type into activity. All right. So what is this type into activity going to do? Type into activity is going to type the font here. Okay. Type the font here. So right now I changed my font type. Yeah. So I am going to specify where is the point where you are asking me to type. Yeah, this is where I'm asking it to type. What you are asking it to type, I'm asking it to type Calibri. All right. Right. And Calibri is what is going to get typed. And once it is typed, what will happen? It is going to, it is expected to go to the next, window. But will it go? No, it will not go because it has typed Calibri. That's it. So let's see what will happen if I say Calibri. Right, and it will have to go from here to the next screen like this. It will have to go from next screen from here to here. All right. So let's see if it goes without me doing anything. Great. So let me just open. See, wantedly, I'm trying to show you all those use cases which causes you to fail. It's easy for us to just see success stories, but we'll have to know where we are going to fail, and that is where we are going to learn it better. All right. Okay. So the recorder has started, and it is trying to type. And it went on to font. Now it typed, and see, it is able to select, and it has also updated the font text, and it is saving right now. Closed. Brilliant. Okay, and you see that. Just a second. Let me come out of this presentation and see that the choice. I know the font is actually kind of a little less. I should have kept 48 or something. All right, so it is absolutely fine. Let's do one more thing now. Let's do one more thing. I'll delete this. Okay, I've deleted it. I came back. Now I don't want this to be Calibri. I want this to be again Vardhana. Right, and this is light italic only. And here you see all the times we are just trying to use a click activity. Okay, click is only going to be performed when I know that the item is actually available there. But click will obviously fail if such a value is not there. For instance, why we failed earlier is because of this reason. Now also Vardhana is not there, but because I did not perform a click activity and I performed a type into activity, what will happen? The bot is going to select here and it will type Vardhana. Once I typed, I am going to move to the next window. And in Vardhana, whatever are the options, if I am going to type, for instance, I want to type regular. And I want to identify the size. So size also, you see, out of 9 to 18, if you remember, we have made the size to be 48. All right, here you made the size to be 48, but because size of 48 is not visible for me, I just skipped it. My font size was not increasing, if somebody have observed it. So what you do, instead of click activity, we now realized that we are not supposed to perform click here. We are supposed to do a type into. Okay, we are supposed to do a type into. Great. Because we realize that, let us do the recording all again. Perfect. So let me keep my notepad open. Okay, let's also try this now, which is I will not open my notepad and I want the recorder to open my notepad because that cannot be automatically recorded. What I'll do, I will specify that I want to open a notepad application. So start application. Let it know what is the application you want to open. Okay, you click there and see it is able to identify that this is a notepad application and the source of the notepad is here. See Windows System 32 notepad.exe. Okay, we don't want pass any arguments. If you pass the arguments, then these are automatically applied onto the notepad application. Perfect. So the notepad is right now open. Now you start the recording. Great. What is the recording I want to do? I want to type something here. What is that? Hello everyone. Welcome to A3 FDP. Okay, and ensure that if there is any text already in there, then I'm going to select the empty field and you see the text is all up. Perfect. After that, it's just the same story. I don't want to use any anchors because there are no confusing things. Click on font. And now, earlier we have done pause the screen and we have scrolled down the option and see that it didn't work. Now let us try to do that. Type into is something that is working. So let's try to do a type into. So I selected If you select, then automatically it picks up, because these are the things which the recorder can automatically do, right? Select item, type into, click activity, and the other one. Right. So what is the font that you want to right now choose? I want to choose Vardhana and ensure that I kind of empty the field so that Calibri ke baad Vardhana is not getting typed. All right, Vardhana is coming up, and after Vardhana has come, I want to select the font style, and I want to make sure that it is bold, and bold is selected, and I want to ensure that the font size right now is 48. Enter. Great. So all three are selected successfully. Click on OK, and the font size also have changed. Now let me save this file. So all of this is being done using the recorder itself. We are not doing anything physically. So let's give me the name of the file. Again, ensure that empty field is selected. Click on OK and save it. Perfect. So it is saved with the file is saved with hello.txt, and then finally close it. Great. Escape, save and exit. Now you see we got the entire recording steps, and we just have replaced with type into activity, because we just have seen that click was not working when this options are not visible. So now what we have done, we learned that type into is working better, and then we replace click with type into. Wonderful. So let's see, and I'm not going to open my notepad now, because as you can see, we have ensured that the sequence knows that it also has to open notepad application later. So let's start. Wonderful. Okay, now we don't see the change in font. And we get a pop-up that we didn't handle because the hello.txt is already available. So it cannot save again. Yeah. So it will stop here. What we'll do is, it's all working seamlessly fine if you have observed. Just that these are the things we were not able to see if the font change really has happened. So what we'll do is we'll change it. Okay, this is the default font that is right now there. So when something is getting typed, and you see that it is going to get typed in that unknown font. Great. Let's start again. So Notepad should open up, and our typing should happen, and you see it is getting typed in some font style. So now we are changing it to Vardhana and bold and 48 and saving it. Okay, now yeah, it is going through seamlessly. Okay, we didn't delete the file again. Okay, if the file would have been deleted, then bingo, all is well. Right. So this is what is the entire basic recorder going to do for us. So where it failed is something we have to understand. The first thing is, in choosing the selectors, if they are dangling, selectors dangling in the sense, there are two names of the fields, and you want to uniquely identify one of these fields, then sometimes this basic recorder is going to not be helpful. And because let me just show you what is a container. So this is a container. Okay, you see, the entire recording that went through actually went through in just one container. All right. So starting with opening the application, typing, selecting the font, choosing the font selection pop-up, and that pop-up actually came here. All right, pop-up actually came here. So from here onwards, it should have been in a different container as such. All right, and I also wanted to show you what is called as a selector. Can you see? This is something called as a selector. Right, and you see, out of all of this, everything is customizable. If I want to change, I can basically change all of this. All right, this is called a full selector, where you are given an option to change and modify anything that is showcased to you. You'll understand better in today's afternoon class, so don't worry. This is full selector. So for everything every pop-up that actually is coming up, you see that the entire way in which you can uniquely identify the selector is all being recorded. If it is partial selector, then I only am going to take the new context that is coming up, and with reference to the current context, I'm just going to create a new selector and use the parents selector as it is. Right. So we will right now try to do that now, and create a new recorder. Great. And we call this as a desktop recorder demo. Any questions or doubts till now, if there are any?
Sir, how this type into is done during the recording time? Can you double click that for that?
No, ma'am. I did not double click anything. Actually, what I've done is whenever you want to perform type into, you just go and take the cursor and click, and the pop-up of type into options are automatically going to come up for us.
Okay.
We need
Okay.
not do
Thank you,
anything.
sir.
Okay, then thanks that you have asked this question. I'll just demonstrate that once again here in the desktop recorder. So as we have spoken about, the desktop recorder is just the same. I mean, there's no difference whatsoever, but just that if you have dangling anchors and selectors, or instead of using the basic recorder, you're going to use desktop recorder as such. So let's quickly, because we already are used to now, let's just start doing this. So open application. So it know that the application is Notepad, and then start the recording. And in the start, see, what did I do? I just have clicked it. It started the recorder. Let me do it again. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to start the recording. And this is a type into activity, correct? This is a click. This is a type into. Type into is in whenever you have text fields. So whenever I perform a click, that pop-up automatically comes up. We need not do anything. Great. So welcome to desktop recorder, and select this and press enter. Nice. And then this is a click activity, right? So we don't get any options. Okay, for the first time we'll get the option saying do you want to keep an anchor, so just ignore it, and then select the font. So now, as in when you selected the font in the recorder, after you see the sequence, from here onwards there is a new container. That's what we are talking about. Right, so click and the pop-up automatically comes. So again, I would like to go back to Calibri and ensure that empty field is selected. I want to ensure that I use bold italic. Wonderful. And I would like to make it 72. Empty field. Okay, even bigger now, and click on OK. Perfect. So let's just save it. Oh, sorry. You should not do that because we are doing this in the recorder, right? So you will have to only type, do the selection wherever you want the bot to replace you. You are supposed to do that. Desktop and empty field. Okay, desktop is coming up, and click on save. So the file is saved. Click on, okay, let's do this. Click on maximize and close. Super. So the desktop recorder right now has come up, and you see that within this new, what do I say, container, you have got three things. One is the open notepad is done. After opening notepad, what did I do? I typed something, and then I clicked on the format option. All right, format menu option. And you see that this entire thing is there in one container. Okay, starting from here, se leke here. Great. And then you see there is a new activity that we have to learn here called as attach window. Attach window is going to be used in all those use cases, whether you use recorders or you don't use recorders and write the sequence manually. It is necessary for us to use attached window because you are switching from one window to another. This is my window, and you switch from this window to this window. This pop-up came up. When this window goes back again, then this is the window that is staying back for us. Correct? So to keep the context really clear for the robot, it is going to make more sense if we are keeping the actions in a container. So you see, when the menu options have come up, only with respect to those menu options, it has created a new container. Right, so this container is there. And after that, you see I opened another attach window. And what is this attach window? I selected the format and clicked on font. And then this popped up. Okay. And whatever have the new thing that have popped up is again attached to the window. What does it mean by attached window? It means that I am attaching this window to my parent. So this is my parent. I'm attaching that here. That's it. So when I'm attaching, what am I interested in doing? I'm interested in doing all of this, which is I changed my font family from Vardhana to Calibri. I changed my font style to from bold to bold italic. Changed the font size from 48 to 72 and clicked on OK. So till clicking on OK is all corresponding to that window itself. So for that reason, you see that all of these are there in one attached window. So you see the three containers that we have that it has created for us. And finally, after that, what did we do? We came back to the parent. Okay, even though the parent is the same window on which we are going back to, still the recorder is going to remember that this is again a new window and then accordingly go ahead. So here it is trying to select the file. Once the file is selected, what will happen? It will open options. So those options are again in another container. And within this container, once I click on save, what's happening? A new pop-up is coming up. So with related to that new pop-up of where you want to save the file, I'm typing into there. Then I'm clicking on save. So all of this again is another container. And then I'm maximizing it and then I'm closing it. All right. So this is the final container. So if you see, this is a structured way of creating an automation sequence where the robot doesn't really feel any difficulty with regards to locating the things uniquely. All right, that's the advantage what we have. So to see the demo, what I'll do is I'll once again go back and change the font. Okay, why am I doing this is because just to see the change in actions that the bot is doing all of that. Okay, I've changed the font style. All right, save it and just run it. It will open Notepad and it will type in the small font, 11 or 12, whichever we have selected. Great, and then it will go into font. Now it is doing Calibri, it is going bold italic and changing to 72. And it is, I forgot to delete the file. Desktop file is already available. Okay, let me say replace. Okay, replaced, maximized, post. Okay, and one very good thing that I would like you to observe is this. The time that it has taken to complete this UI automation for us is 22 seconds. You can still further improve the performance at which this gets completed. That is going to be possible eventually. I mean, best practices will learn that. But it is difficult for any human to actually open Notepad and do that typing, change the fonts and all in a faster way, and then save the file. We can do that. I mean, how you do it is by using all shortcuts. Okay, how do you, instead of you doing the click actions, if you use shortcuts is like, I don't know, I mean, what's the shortcut for maybe this is Alt F and F. Let me try that. Alt F. Oh no, it is Alt O and F. Okay, Alt O F. See, it just picked up that in no time. All right. And again, here also you say Alt F, Alt Y, and Alt S. You see, the shortcut is whichever character is having an underline. That is the shortcut key that you are supposed to press along with the Alt key. So Alt F and type into. Right. Alt Y and type into. Alt S and type into. What will happen is this mouse, because for moving the mouse, it will take some time. So you can avoid that time if you are going to use the shortcuts. So, and you do Alt O, and then it saves, and Alt Control S, and then Alt space X. Alt space X is going to be maximize, and Alt F4 is going to be for close. So create all of those shortcuts. Probably you can try it by yourself. It's very easy. Just need to give some time and effort, and then all of that is done for us. So this is desktop recording. So the only thing that you have seen, okay, I just wanted to show you selector, okay, and you see that I cannot change this. Okay, this is not editable. You can see these two guys are editable. Okay, these two guys are editable, and I cannot edit the parent, selector. I know that the parent selector is notepad.exe, and then the class is 32770. That is how the notepad, design is. The DOM structure, the document object model structure of your notepad is like that. The font title is font. That's the default name given to it. All right, and this is something that I cannot change. So this is partial selector. That means we can only edit these things that I just now have deleted, and not anything above it. So this corresponds to its parent. So I'll not be able to change it. So that's the reason why the desktop recorder essentially generates partial selectors. Right. Now, let's just quickly jump on to the next segment. And any questions we have in here?
No, sir.
Thank you. So we'll just quickly move ahead. All right. So it's very easy. I mean, it's pretty intuitive. I'm sure there are going to be few doubts. But see, the same exercise you should have to try in the other applications as well, and that is when you will try to see there are new errors or new exceptions that are popping up, and you will start experimenting more, and then you will become an expert as for sure. Great. So let's start with the third recorder, and that is your web recorder. Okay, let me just open my Chrome. Perfect. Nice. So just like Notepad, again, it's the same story here. What I wanted to do is, let's try doing this. I mean, I tried it, but didn't complete it yesterday night. That is, can we book our, now though due to this COVID and all, we don't, but can we book our car tickets using a robot? Right, using a robot. I mean, there were earlier many PHP scripts that are available, which used to query the database in the backend and get the responses and see if there is any availability, and then use the appropriate train number and submit the jobs. I mean, the data to it on the screen, and then people have tried doing it. There are Chrome extensions also for booking tickets as such. So, but now there's nobody to travel in trains or anywhere. Anyways, I mean, if you want to really do that, then what does it take? All it takes is even as a human, what we do, we just are going to click on some things and wait. If the system is responsive enough, then we are kind of doing it. What will happen, because it is Tatkal and within the next 3 or 4 minutes, all tickets are going to get sold out. One error, age when you are trying to type, or the gender, most of the times this comes wrong. according to the study as well. People are booking tatkal tickets and then male ke badle mein female, female ke badle mein male. So you are going to select that. There are more number of people, then more entries are to be made. And you might see that there are errors that might shoot up. Maybe that is one place where we can bring in this UI automation. But for that reason, also let me tell you, it will not work because IRCTC knows that such bots can be easily built. So they have put down captchas everywhere during login, during booking, going to payment gateway and all. Even with captchas, if you can really use the power of OCR that's available in UiPath, you can even do automation for those use cases as well. Okay, worth a try. Let's start with a small, easy wala, exercise, and that is let's take this website. I mean, this is given again in the PPT because I think after the sessions, if you want to learn more, then you will refer to PPT itself. So I'm just giving the example that's there in PPT. We'll take another example as well, not a problem. So what do we do is this is the website that we are going to go. And what we do is we are supposed to search for a movie name. All right, we are supposed to search for a movie name and press enter. And I got the name of the movie. Click on the name of the movie here. All right, and I would like to get the rating of this movie. Okay, I would like to get the rating of this movie. And once I get the rating of this movie, I'll just pop up a message saying the movie rating is so and so. And that's it. I come out of it. So all I'm going to do is I am going to ask the user to give me the name of the film. Okay, ask the user to give me the name of the film. Okay, let's take the latest film that has hit the screens. I'm so sorry. It's on the lower side. So anyway, whichever is the rating that we are going to pick up as such. So wonderful. So that's the automation that we are planning to do right now. Okay. So let's get started. I think we'll have to slowly pick up some pace. We will be able to, because right now we know already that all of these are seamlessly working fine. Or did I close that window only? Great. So yeah, let's start the recorder. So open browser. I need to specify what is the browser I would like to open. Okay. Yeah. So I'm specifying that this is the browser I would like to open. And it will give us a pop-up saying, what do you want to browse? You opened it, that's okay. But by default, I see that there is no URL that is there. Is this what you want me to open whenever this automation is running up? No, I don't want you to open that. I want you to open imdb.com and say okay. Right. So whenever the browser is going to get opened, it is going to open the IMDb website, and this is what you're going to see. So from here onwards, what we'll do, we are going to perform the recorder. All right. So, but you can see that recorder will not be able to do all of the activities. It will only be able to do 4 activities. So if there is anything other than what the recorder is supposed to perform, you will have to come out of the recorder and do it by yourself, right? So before us, I think I missed one point, which I told you that we are going to do, that is to ask the user to give the user input, all right, which we didn't ask actually. Anyway, we will ask the user later. Chalo, then let's start the recording. And what do we want to do? We want to select this field, and I want to type the name of the film. Right. If there is any, then click on empty field and then type enter. All right, and you should see that Interstellar is coming up, popping up here. Great. Once this pops up, what you want to do? You want to do a search. Okay, to search that, all you need to do is perform that magnifying glass. Okay, we've clicked on that, and it is probably it's not navigating. Okay, I don't know if the click was not Okay, by the way, click is done. All right. So we are right now moving on to the screen. Then after that, we want to select this film. Yes. And then here is where you want to select text. Okay. This select text will not work because you can do only what? Like a click, type into, and then select a list. All right, select list and select choice. Only those four things is what the recorder can do. So whatever select text you want to do, this is not going to happen here. So what you have to do then, you will have to come out of the recorder. So till here, recorder has helped you. Help us. Right. So just click on save, and let's go ahead and see what did it do. So yeah, you see, we have performed that click twice. Okay, you can delete it once. Clicked it here, clicked it here. Great. Before we move ahead, what do we want to do? We want to take the input from the user. All right, because we want to read the value from the user. What you should do? We are going to take a input dialog. All right, and enter the in double quotes. Enter the name of the file. Control A, Control C, Control V. Right. So you have done this, but it will basically get saved in some variable. It should be saved in some variable, right? So we will say Control K, so that's a shortcut for creating variable, and say film name. Right. And you see the name, the variable is created for us, which is of the type string, and the scope is within the entire sequence. Right. Now, this is where you want to pass that value, correct? Instead of keeping it constant, now it is dynamic based on the user's input. Basically change. Great. Now, once the interstellar is there, what is that we want to do? We want to do next, and that is get text. Oh, we don't want to do it from here, right? We want to do it from the recorder. Where is my recorder? Recorder is closed. Right. So from the recorder, what do we want to do? We want to yes. This is type, this is copy. Copy text. Okay. What is the text that I would like to copy? I would like to copy the text from this screen. Okay, click on that. And then I need not have actually taken a recorder. Save and exit, because that's the only thing that is remaining in here. All right, so let's see if this works. And if it works, then whatever value that it has recorded is going to be saved in this variable called span. And let's see and display message box. Let's display that value in the message box. All right, what do we want to display? We want to display span. As you know, UiPath does not allow you to print the values unless it is converted into the form of string. Okay, even though it is integer, even though it is a plain string, you should actually have to, only strings are going to get displayed. If you are not going to keep it, as string, then it is going to complain. Now it is not complaining because the span is kind of a generic variable. Alright, if it is, for instance, integer, then it complains. I said integer, and it should complain. Basically, once you run the, I should say, sequence, then you get the error basically. So only strings are going to be displayed and not integers as well. Okay, let's see. Great, then. So we are all good to go. Let's quickly go ahead and start. I'm closing this browser and come back and debug this. So it will give us a pop-up asking us to give the name of the film. Yeah. And then it will open the IMDb website. Yes, it opened the IMDb website. And then in the search bar, it is going to type the interstellar value. Perfect. And it is going to click on the field. Yes, it clicked. I didn't click. Sorry, I didn't click. I shouldn't have taken the cursor there. I'll once again do it if needed. And then if it is able to copy the text from there, then we will get a message box. If it is not, then it will basically throw us an exception. If copy text isn't working, then we can use something called get text. Where is it? Yeah, it is here. I think it is not. So 8.6 is not a valid int. It is able to basically get that value because you change that value to int, so it is complaining. Anyway, we'll try it again. But I'm pretty sure that you cannot for any cost print integers. You will have to convert integers into strings, and only then the values are going to get displayed. Okay, it is string now, and let's get going. Let's restart it. Okay, this time I will not take the mouse cursor there. It will have to do it for us. Okay, we left with last half an hour before we finish the native Citrix and image. Interstellar. So we'll have to ensure that there are no spelling mistakes. If there are spelling mistakes, then you will have to handle it by yourself. Those are exceptions. All right. So to avoid the spelling mistakes, what you can do is you can give the values pre-listed in the question itself and ask user to type 1, 2, or 3, or 4 like that. Right, so at least now it will have to pick up 8.6, and yes. Okay, so it picked up 8.6 and it printed the result. And once you click on OK, the robot is going to go down. Right, so the same thing, if you have seen, this is the one I wanted to show you, which I have done yesterday. Hopefully it is IRCTC. It is IRCTC only. So let's just run this. I'm not logging in, by the way. I'm just trying to search for the trains from Secunderabad to New Delhi. On I did not. So you see, there's a pop-up coming up. So what did I do? To kill this pop-up, I have performed a click on the OK. So it's loading up. It's taking time. So we have 30 seconds. Not to worry. And then it is supposed to. Okay, this is the login that came up by default, which is an exception. See, but in the background, it is doing its job. Okay, in the background, it typed that Secunderabad and New Delhi railway station and all. Let's try again once again. So that's an exception. See, we did according to our automation, we have designed the automation in such a way that whenever this website opens up, it will not ask me for logging in. Yesterday night, it didn't allow me to ask me to logging in. Right now, it is asking me to log in. So this is an exception. So you will have to know that such exceptions are there and handle exceptions. So how do you handle these exceptions is also there in the course of our study, maybe tomorrow. And please try to also learn that. And then you are going to write a try and catch, just like a regular object-oriented programming, constructs, just does the same thing. All right, so it will have to do the OK. And then don't ask me for login. It's asking me for logging in again. So that means yesterday night, got it. Yesterday night, it will not give me this login screen because 11:30 to 12:30 or 12 to 12:30 some time, there is everyday maintenance happens for IRCTC, and it will not allow you to log in. Right. So back then, I think this did not come up. It's easy now. What I'll do is After that pop-up that got clicked, what I'll do is I'll just also try to click here. Okay, let me just stop. I don't want to log in, but I just want to search for the trains and their availability. So let me do a click. All right, where should I click? I should actually have to click on this into. All right, so once that into is clicked, then what will happen? This will close, and our script is going to basically run. So let's close this and debug it again. One last try. If it comes, it's okay, or else we'll just quickly jump onto the Citrix. So what is Citrix? In the interest of time, Citrix is a kind of remote desktop connection type of an application. All right, and it's a proprietary application as such, and most of the users, whenever they want to, now you see the login didn't come. That's the reason why I told you, IRCTC is very intelligent. It's nicely designed where it knows how to handle them. So because it is not coming up, what you can do is here you can do a if element exists. Okay, element exists is something that we learned earlier, right? Element vanishes is something which we have seen. Element exist also is there. Now you see this element is not coming up. Okay, this is not coming up. So what you can do is, this is coming for sure, and the next screen is there for sure, but this is a strange guy playing around with us. So you can write element exist here on this into button, and if that into button is there, then you do this. Else you close that into button and come back here and do this. Right, that if and else condition, which you have learned in the control state structures yesterday in the afternoon session. Great. So let's not go ahead with this. So it will basically run nothing much. So what I have done is Secunderabad to New Delhi, 19th date is what I have given. So this is the, now it is coming up. See. So whenever you click there, it's coming, is it? Oh, you click there, it's coming up. That means, all right, let's fix it. One more small thing and that should fix it. Click. Come on quickly. Okay. So I clicked and it's coming up, and then I'll have to close this. And again, this comes up. So this is an infinite loop. So we cannot solve it. Unless you log in, you cannot solve it. So let's not get into the details of it. Anyway, ignore. So that's how web recorder is going to get triggered. Now, what is Citrix? So Citrix is kind of an environment which allows you to remotely get connected to a server that is hosted somewhere. And your applications that run on top of the Citrix environment are only going to be visible to you through a remote connections. Okay, our remote desktop connections is what we know, right? So through remote desktop connections is what we are going to see these screens. And what will happen is when you are talking about remote desktop, then these remote desktops, see whatever you are trying to see right now, my screen is a remote desktop for all of you. So whatever you see here, for me, it's an application, but for you, it's an image. And on the double click of this image, the request actually is going back to the my system. That means if I'm allowing you to control my screen, then you are controlling all the icons that are available here on my screen as if they are images. Okay, but once you double click that, then what using what is this? This is WebEx. Using WebEx is what we have connected. So WebEx is going to inform me that there is somebody who have pressed a double click, okay, on top of this image is what WebEx is going to basically do. So all you are seeing is just images. They are not icons. So similarly, Citrix is an environment which also gives you the access of the applications that are there on the server from a remote system in the form of a image access. So assuming that this is the application that's sitting on top of the Citrix environment, then you are supposed to perform the Citrix recording. So what is Citrix recording? It's also very simple. It's just the same recording as such, but instead of you doing a click activity and type into activity, you are supposed to specify where you want to type uniquely, because they are not plain selectors. They are image based selectors. That means agar mujhe I want to type in here, then I'll have to specify that beside this email colon, whatever text field is there, here I would like to type. So like this, we will have to use a reference and accordingly type it. So Citrix recording demo. Okay, I have a small slide, 2 slides I have for Citrix. Let me just finish that so that the context is set right. Come on, come on. So we completed till here, and we are left out with just the last 3 slides. So native Citrix. So when I say native Citrix, what does it mean is you have taken the application that sits on Citrix environment onto your desktop, and you are performing automation on your desktop here. But the reflection of this, interaction is actually getting triggered on the native Citrix environment in the background. All right, it's like that. So for that reason, that means we are having a client of the Citrix application, and then you are trying to perform the actual, triggering of the logic there on the server side. So the problem with Citrix is the selectors are not natively generated. So there are no selectors in which you can uniquely identify. All right, the selectors can be used for full range of UI automation activities, but we don't have them here. So that's the challenge. And then UI Explorer. So what is UI Explorer? Again, this will get introduced to you in the afternoon to it. Extremely related to your selectors. Where do you see, sorry. So this is UI Explorer. Okay, this is going to get introduced to you today in the afternoon. So UI Explorer cannot extract these selectors for elements inside the applications in Citrix. So neither the plain selectors are going to give you suggestions saying this can be the unique way in which you can locate the item, or neither the UI Explorer is going to help you locate those items uniquely. So in these two situations, it is difficult for us to perform any any text input type based activities. We will only have to rely on images, all right, and perform the operations that we want to perform during the automation. So what will happen is we will need right now the anchor. So we spoken about, right? So we need right now an anchor, and based on the anchor is what we are going to essentially locate the exact location of what you want to type into. Okay, so that's it. What we have, but no, I mean from the just wanted to ensure I don't miss anything. Right, so let's create a Citrix recorder and then go directly and jump ahead into native Citrix. Okay, and as I told you, this is one application that the Citrix environment is going to be giving us. And what you need to do, we are going to basically do anchor based selection when needed. If it is just if the environment can automatically detect the elements without having any anchors, then nothing like it. Let's try to see if we are able to do it. Let's start the recording. Okay, and you see, I cannot directly select the items, but because it is native Citrix, now the UiPath 20 release onwards, it has become a little more intelligent. That means it can pick up the values of a Citrix application as well and perform those actions. So let me just type something. Again, the same old story of, because recorder, right? I mean, obviously we'll keep repeating the same old things and do the selection here, 43135, some number, enter. And this is where you want the what do you say, list. You want to choose the elements that are there in the list, right? So what you do is you can just perform a click here. Okay, the recorder basically have remembered that it has to perform a click. Now you pause the recording, open the list, and be ready for the recorder to again come back. And now you select. Okay, no, don't need any anchors because this is easy. And you see it has selected sales. After it has selected sales, now try to identify which one you want to select here. Let's say vendor. Okay, it has selected vendor. Select her and click on expense generate report. Okay, once you have got this, then this is the expense report for her, which the application has given us. I want to extract this text. I want to extract this text. So Citrix only allows you to click and type. Okay, it will not allow us to select with the recorder. What you do, you can stop the recording, all right, and do the image, find relative is not there. Yeah, so this is click relative. Okay, let's copy them. So copy text and select this text. Whatever we have done for web recording, we have done the same thing. And then finally, click on the expense report. Okay, expense report is created. And close this. And close the application. Save and exit. Right. So I've got all of the native Citrix recording done. We have seen that we did not still see the image based anchoring. That is what I just wanted to show you in a real VM environment. So which is actually kept ready. We are going to see that eventually. But native Citrix recording is just like this. It's very easy, where you have and because it is native, that you have the Citrix application sitting here on your desktop and you are directly interacting with it just like a normal desktop application. But because it is native, because it is Citrix type of application, and there are many organizations which actually still run on Citrix infrastructure. So a specific use case is given for Citrix, and when we are able to see, that means that there are too many clients out. So for them, this is a unique recording tool that can be used as such. So great. So we have this application right now sitting in background, and let's do a simple automation. Pretty easy. Click sometimes behaves unstable. So let's see if it works or not. Okay, did it come as expected? Oh, where is the click? Click is lost. Where is the click thing? Yeah. The click activity is lost here. That did not get recorded due to some reason. We said, right? We clicked on it and then function F2 we said, and then once the list items are listed down for us, then we selected it. All right, so let's do a click activity again here, just before this. Come on, just quickly, last 10 minutes. Okay, let's do a click. All right, the click is performed. And whenever click is basically performed, the list opens up and then it should basically go ahead. Let's see again. Yeah. Okay, vendor selected, Stephanie House, Spencer created, and bingo. So it did work seamlessly fine. Just that the text that we have got, we did not print it anywhere. So we have the text here. So after clicking on OK, let's just do a message box. and then print the text direct. Finished. All right, great. And then you just get a pop-up of that. Anyway, so in the interest of time, let's quickly jump on to the system. And what am I trying to do is I am trying to connect to a virtual machine, because that is where you will really understand. So till here, I think the expectation is set. The last 10 minutes, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you the use case where you can also do recording based on images. All right. So you have, where do you have images? You will have images in those use cases where you are doing a remote connection. That means you have created a robot, and remotely this robot is connecting to an instance. All right, it is connecting to an instance, and in that instance there is an application, and on that application it is supposed to perform some automation basically. All right, so let's try to do that. I have kept things ready there, so let's hopefully think it works for us. All right, so you see again the same application is here, right? The same application is here, but this application right now is not running on my system. This application is running somewhere on the Amazon cloud, right? So can you see the screen?
Yes.
Oh, done,
Yes, sir.
done. Thank you. Right, so
Yes, sir.
okay. Oh, all right, sure. Thank you. Let me just move this ahead and minimize my. Okay, so this is my remote instance, and let's do quickly the image recording as well. This is the fifth one, and this is something that is new, very new. It is called computer vision, where you want to do computer vision related automation, then you can use that. See, now here this is totally image. Now this is not an application, this is an image that I'm seeing. You are connected to my system, I'm connected to another remote environment, and we want to basically perform a selection. All right, and indicate where you want to type something. All right, so this is an approach where you are going to perform a click. Okay, now am I interested in performing a click here? No, I'm interested in performing a type. So because I'm interested in performing a type, I should have done this. All right, I am interested in typing. Oh, sorry. I'm interested in typing in the text box. Okay. So this is where I would like to type. What is that I want to type? I want to type contact. All right, empty screen, enter. So it is uniquely able to identify that it is supposed to type in there. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 5, 5, something. Great. And then this is where I need to perform a click. Okay, so to perform a click, I should give the reference of where to perform the click, because the selectors are not reliable here. All right, and indicate a point where I would like to perform a click, and that is here. Okay, now it is successfully able to perform the click, and now I would like to just do a click. Now here, because it is a list, I already got the selector. Already got the selector earlier, So it'll be able to uniquely pick the value easily, and so human resources is selected. Then this is where I would like to specify where I would like to do a click, all right, and indicate the position of where I want to perform the click as such. Okay, super. So that's how it is. And then that's it. I need not click there. I will basically do a click here. Okay. Okay, perform the click and I got the value. So let's just see the demo of this. If it is working fine, then we can move ahead. So we are performing all of that. And I think I performed a click initially. I just delete it. So we are not supposed to perform click. We are supposed to type it. Perfect. So let's go back into our Citrix environment and then close it and open it again. Yeah, this is open. Let's run the bot. All right, so it is able to do it. Done. So that is all about image recording as well. So image recording, most of it is manual. We will not be able to do it the way we want it to be. Okay, let's just minimize this, and just one last slide before we conclude the talk. That is the comparison on each one of them. So you see that mhm. So you see that the selector types. So here the selector type for basic recorder is full selector. That means you have seen that, right? So the entire selector is what is listed for us. And then for desktop recorder, it is partial. That means the parent selector is blocked. We cannot modify that, and the remaining things are available for us. Similarly, for web recorder as well. Why is it so for web recorder? Because web recorder also creates containers. Keep it simple. I mean, if there are containers getting created, then there are partial recorders. As simple as that. And native Citrix is going to basically generate the selector based on the remote application type attributes. All right, so that's how it is. And then speed, basic recorder is kind of considered slower because for it to detect where the context is, it will take some time. Desktop recorder, web recorder is pretty fast, and native Citrix is also kind of considered a little slower. That's the reason why if you see the click and selection was from the drop down got stuck for some time, and then it was able to, because this is an application which is not probably built using the .NET framework itself, right? So, but still, because it is interoperable, it is able to do that, but kind of a little slow on the side. Not sure if these are covered for you. Hopefully, should have covered. There are two ways in which you can perform simulations. That is mostly seen for simulate, click, and type into. So let me just show that to you. So this is click, right? Oh, this is click image. Do I have this desktop recorder? Right. So if you can see, there are two things. One is called send window messages and simulate type. Let's simulate type. Matlab, you are trying to do the simulation for typing and you are doing the simulation for clicking. Okay, simulate type and simulate click. That means this is something that you can use when you don't want the robot to actually take over your computer and keep you away from it, because we only have one mouse, right, cursor, And if you are doing something and the bot actually have spawned in the background and it is taking away the cursor and it is moving away and doing its own jobs on the application, then you are not using your computer, which spoils the entire effort of why we have created robots, right? So to do that, I mean, you will have to select a type of template that is already available for us called as background process. All right, so we have seen processes and flow charts, right? Here you can create a background process, and this background process allows you to create an automation script that allows you to perform these clicks and type in tools in the background. So that way you are still continuing to use your computer and it is just doing things in the background. So that is simulate type and click. So for performing simulate type or click, basic recorder will not support, desktop recorder also will not support, and web recorder essentially allows you to do that. That means you can, in the recorder, you can open up the properties and basically do that, and same thing applies for Citrix. These are not position dependent at all. That means if the notepad application is of this size and suddenly notepad application has become this size, whatever size it is, it will be able to uniquely identify, because thanks to your selectors. The selectors are there which uniquely can identify wherever it is there in the entire screen. So where is it used? It is used on desktop applications, used on multiple desktop applications, switch from one to another. Also, I know the context. This is primarily used in web applications. This is used in environments where it is good for native Citrix applications. So that's it. Hopefully, I covered whatever I wanted to, and also on time. So thanks again for giving this opportunity. And you were very good audience. There were questions also popping up. So I'm so fortunate to get this opportunity to share the knowledge whichever I have. Any questions quickly? If you have, then I'm more than happy to answer them.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I want to get the data from the web, like you can say moneycontrol.com or something. Then is it possible with the help of the recorder, or we need to make use of the programming?
No. It is very much possible using the recorder itself. So you can see that there is something called screen scraping. So
Okay.
if it is just the text that you are going to use, that's there on the internet, for instance, you see you are going to get something called somewhere I find that, yeah, scrape. But you have something called screen scraping. You will be taught that as well if it is not covered. Then using
Okay.
screen scraping, what you can do is you can select a portion of the text that is there on the web application. So how do you do that? Let me just show you a small glimpse of it. Yeah. For instance, if this is the website and I would like to scrape the data that is there in here, starting from here to here. Then there are OCRs that are actually available behind, using which you can get the text that is there on the web. Okay. There are three types in which you can use the screen scraping. One is called native. The next one is full text, and the other one is OCR. There are three types of scraping methodologies. Most of the
Okay.
times, if there is text itself there, then native or full text should be more than enough. But if you are scraping content from a image,
Okay.
for instance, if I have an image, available here, and I'm interested in scraping that content, then
Okay.
you can use OCRs basically. So let me just also try to show that. Sorry. Okay, screen scraping, and I would like to scrape the data that is there on this image. So because it's an image, it might not be as accurate it is supposed to be. We have got, reliable, no OCR was also applied. That means this is not a logo. This is just a HTML tag itself on which you are trying to get the data from. So this is screen scraping. You also have something called optical character recognition, and there are three engines by default available for us called as Microsoft, Tesseract, and UiPath. So there are
Okay.
3 things that are available. You choose. I mean, for different use cases, different OCRs work better. So for your use case, which OCR works better is what you can come and choose here and do a refresh and see if the results are better. Then you just apply that. Second thing which you asked is a very valid question. That means you want to search money control and see what stocks are probably trending. Then if the text is actually given to you in the form of a table, then it is
Okay.
seamlessly extremely easy, because you will learn a concept called as data scraping.
Okay.
That is going to come up. See here, you can see there is something called data scraping. And
Okay.
what this does is it is going to select the entire text that is there in the table.
Sure.
Okay, let me just search for, and then it will give you the list of most trending. Oh, am I on the VM? Oh, no, it's missed. I don't know, somehow it's not coming. Anyway, so if you have, okay, this is some use case. Let me just try and demonstrate that. But this is there for you in the course of study. Maybe tomorrow, today afternoon itself, I think that's there. Post this session, I think that is there, I guess. So all you need to do is just click on screen scraping and let it know the field that you would like to scrape. For instance, yeah, if it is this value, and it'll ask you for the second value to also showcase. Oh, now this is not in the form of a table, so it cannot scrape that content. I mean,
Okay.
if it is there in the form of a table, then nothing like it. I just am trying to look at, okay, this is a table, right? Okay, let me just do this. So select an element. So this is the element that I would like to have. See, now it only have suggested. You selected a table cell. Would you like to extract the data from the whole table? Then you say yes, and it will pick the entire table for us. So the entire table and the content. So if you say finish, then what will happen is it will create a CSV. And you see, it will also suggest, I mean, this table is only there within this view, or it is spanning across multiple pages. If it is spanning across multiple pages, see, almost active. Okay, all right. So it is taking me there. If it is spanning, sometimes what will happen, table, there are 6 elements, and then there is something called next page, pagination. So when you have pagination, then click on just indicate where that next button is there by clicking yes, and maybe select where that next button is there and how many ever pages this table is spreading across. Those many pages, this is going to do the scraping and give it back to us.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
And one last thing, after you have done the data scraping, the best part is it is going to give us a data table. It is
Okay.
going to give us a data table, and you can save this data table into an Excel file. So once the data is there in Excel file, I mean,
Yeah,
you can
we
create
can
whatever.
do any marvels.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
So, myself, Ritesh here.
Hi,
So,
sir. Hi.
thank you,
Thank you.
sir, for your sharing your knowledge on recording to the participants. And I hope all the participants have learned the concepts of recording. So, now this is over for the recording session. And the next session will be again start from 12 p.m. and that session will be on error handling and debugging. And this web scraping topic is there in our FDP, so that will be covered in detail. So no problem. But however, sir has explained in brief. So thank you once again, sir, for giving your valuable time and sharing your knowledge to the participants. And once again, on behalf of NIELIT Gorakhpur, I welcome you, sir, and thank you for sharing your experience. So now we can end the session and we'll again meet at 12 p.m. for the second session. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Wishing you good luck all.